Welcome back. Well, let's check out the action in the markets now. Willie Bonga brings us the details. I wonder if there's green as my tie.
Well, it's unfortunately not for the Nigerian markets, but
Right.
We've seen it's a big day for the U.S. elections. That's the presidential elections and other elections happening across board there. We've seen Trump having that big win. We didn't see this coming. Well, many people maybe did see this coming.
Some will say they saw it coming.
Wait, some will say they saw it coming because they did better on Trump winning. But many did think that Kamala Harris would win the election because they had that neck and neck, tie.
Oh, the tie race.
Yes, but at the very last minute, we saw that turnaround and Trump leading and winning with about 277 votes in Congress, that leading that election, and it's quite phenomenal. It's a historic one for the U.S. Trump coming in for the second time and notching that 47th presidential seat.
What a comeback!
What a comeback for Trump. And we're hoping to see the markets in other climes react to this, but maybe they're reacting already because we see the Nigerian exchange dropping at 0.2%, but we know that's not what's happening there. But we see the GSE, South Africa's market, also reacting sharply to probably that news, and it's because we saw that dollar rally in the market. That's what we're seeing, but I'm not thinking that's what's happening for the Nigerian index. Like we mentioned now, we're seeing the NGX ASI dropping 0.2%, still at 96,000 points. GSC in South Africa is down 0.57%. And for the NGX, we know O&O, sell-offs are still going on there, dragging the market down. UB is also doing a number on that index. Similarly, we also see that South Africa is down. But let's look at Egypt. That's the lone gainer at intraday. It was 0.57% up at intraday. 0.86% at intraday, 31,000 points. And we see in Kenya, Tuesday's closing remarks, we're seeing that 0.2%. That's the print we had from Kenya. That's 2 days negative in a row now. Now, let's look at other markets. Let's look at what's happening. We see that President Donald Trump has won his Democratic rival, Kamala Harris, in the U.S. presidential elections to return to the White House for another 4 years. Now, that's Trump's victory is marking a series of historic firsts. We're going to be talking to Dr. Tijani Oladipupo, Group Chief Executive, First Icon Group. Good afternoon. It's good to have you on the program. It's quite an historic moment in the U.S. election. As I mentioned earlier, Trump has won the election and everyone is we're seeing the markets happy about that. Well, can you tell us which sectors of our NGX will bring it down now, would benefit more from a Trump win?
So, Will, you can hear me. It's nice to have you here. Thank you. So I would say with America's 47th President Trump coming for the second time again, apparently with the results coming into the market, it's a momentary reaction which we're seeing in terms of what to expect from Trump's administration. Of course, it is not the first time. The expectations are high in terms of what to look out for. It's clear it's an American first policy which the world is open to see in terms of global trade relations, in terms of protectionist agreement, and then all of that. And then, of course, largely we won't take away the implication for stock markets globally.
So we've seen the dollar index has hit a 4-month high of 105 points. Is it an all-in for dollar-denominated assets at this point for Nigerian investors and other African investors?
Yes, interesting one. Again, this is a more interesting area to look to. In the last, if you look at it in the last couple of times, even when the federal government came through with it to deregulate and to degrade Naira, you can see how much Naira has lost. Interestingly, you can also, we've seen sell-offs in terms of dollar-denominated assets. I would say that is also a momentary reaction. In the wake of what the kind of policies Trump is likely to come up with, like I mentioned earlier, in terms of the protectionist policy for the dollars, in terms of trade restrictions, although at different points in time, both local and international analysts have come with different metrics, even though some analysts look to the areas of taxation and tariffs, specifically there were pronouncements around metrics like 10% on U.S. imports, 60% on tariff from on imports on China's goods, for instance. These are all targeted at providing a competitive position for the dollar. And of course, if that happens, it means that holding U.S. dollar-denominated assets becomes the norm. Of course, the U.S. Which of course will have a direct impact on pricing, whether local or international. So even on the domestic scene, one of the major expectations is that they will be hiking pricing. Even foreign currency denominated, in particular dollars, will also have that experience. If that happens, without doubt, except of course if the CBN comes in again, there's a likelihood that the naira will further depreciate even in the medium term, as we see.
But how far can the central bank, that's the CBN, and other central banks in Africa go if the dollar is doing what it's doing right now and continue to strengthen, as this could re-accelerate inflation? How far can they go?
Oh, well, it's a double-edged sword. Either way you look at it. Yes, so on one hand, while the US is trying as much as it is to protect the dollar, like I said earlier, the implications are wide. One is, like I said earlier, the implications are that first, all dollar-denominated assets, institutional investors want to hold dollar-denominated assets. And of course, they will also have an implication, for instance, on monetary policy in the areas of hawkish stance. If this hawkish stance is maintained, what further means is that inflation also becomes higher, inflation also goes higher, such that the local market will, of course, will also want to look at policies that will make the naira also competitive. If that happens, MPC, of course, will also expect that this stiffening will continue to happen. Of course, cost of funds will rise, and then all the attendant direct implications for other macroeconomic variables will also follow suit, just like what we've experienced in the last couple of months.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tijani Oladipupo, Group CEO, Group Chief Executive, First Icon Group, for sharing a perspective on Business Incorporated today.
Thank you, Will, for having me.
So look to the Middle East now, where major Gulf markets gained at intraday as Donald Trump claims victory in the U.S. presidential election. The Abu Dhabi index was up 0.49%. We've seen the Dubai index, however, Dubai index was up 0.49%. However, we see Abu Dhabi not so positive, but slightly positive. That's moderate growth, 0.14%. Let's look at other markets in that region. We see Saudi and the Tadawul index doing a 0.64%. That's a good one for the market, reacting strongly to that Trump win. And the Qatari index was up 0.22%. Now, seeing in the U.S. now, we're seeing the stocks are poised for a booming rally on Wednesday as Donald Trump wins the election, the 2024 presidential election. He secured 277 electoral college votes to notch this historic win. Now, futures on the Dow Jones Industrial Average soared over 1,200 points, and that's about 2.95%. We see S&P futures also soaring 2.31%, and NASDAQ futures also jumping 1.74%. Now, the last time we saw the blue chip, that's the Dow jump more than 1,000 points in a single day, was in November 2022. Now, Bitcoin also rallied, hit a record high, a new high, and the US dollar, we spoke about that, rallied against all other global currencies. Now, small cap stocks also saw a boost, but Tesla, we see Tesla stocks surged about 13% in pre-market trading, and some analysts also say Tesla could reach $1 trillion in market cap under a Trump win. Now, right now, it's a risk-on rally for stocks, and we will definitely be keeping an eye out for that. Let's look at Asian Pacific markets, which had closed earlier today. We had mixed sentiments in that for Wednesday, following the big rally in the U.S. as investors were watching to see how the results would pan out. But we're seeing Trump winning now, so let's see what will happen tomorrow. Now, Japan's Nikkei 225, we see 2.61% up to close Wednesday's trading session. See the Kospi in South Korea reacting negatively, 2.23% down. Hang Seng in China was 0.52% also down. We see Shanghai index also down 0.09%, and the Nifty 50 in India was up, however, 1.09%. Like all these happenings in the markets, it's more like jitters, especially for Asia. They were like watching in the sidelines, what's going to happen? Some of them were like leg in and leg out. The risk off, sentiments were there. We also saw risk on sentiments, and we saw that rally. People are betting on Trump winning, and Trump did win. And now we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, the historic Trump trade at this point. Thank you so much, Will, there for giving us details of most of the markets that we track. So.